We're joined now by Laura Blumenfeld. She served in the US State Department as a senior policy advisor for the Israeli-Palestinian negotiating team. Laura, thanks for being with us. You're so invested in this region, you're so familiar with those involved. What's your reading of the deal that's come through today?
I'd call it a stop the bleeding ceasefire. It isn't a healing peace. I mean, these are parties that are in a state of permanent war, so I don't think we can expect a kind of permanent peace, but I'll take it. Because one of the lessons that I learned in our failure under President Obama to negotiate peace between Israelis and Palestinians, our motto was go big or go home, and nothing is agreed until everything is agreed. And of course, we couldn't reach that final agreement, and we went home and there was more violence. So I'm happy to see even just the first phase of this three-part deal implemented. I'm hearing a lot of people use verbs like hope. We hope the second and third phases will be implemented, and that does give me some concern. But as I learned the hard way under President Obama, embrace the doable. Shwai shwai, as they say in Arabic, slow, baby steps. That'll work for me today.
And how significant do you think it is that the Biden administration team, who've been working on this for so long, were joined by the incoming team, President-elect Trump's team, to get this over the line?
It's unprecedented. It's fascinating. President Trump used all caps the word epic. I think for the Biden team, I would add a little bit of, a PS tragic, because they worked, the words they used, President Biden used was doggedly, trying to herd cats. And it took President Trump, I think he speaks Middle East, which is kind of that bark of sheer power. Biden was a president of empathy, and he hugged Netanyahu. It was the right thing to do right after October 7th, but I'm not sure if Trump is giving out hugs for free.
So what do you see happening now, Laura? We obviously, have this initial stage, and then it'll be up to the Trump administration to oversee the implementation of the deal.
Yeah, what's next? Well, I think part of the driver for Trump, since he's America first, is Americans first. And he'll want to see those Americans released, the hostages who are being held. There are several, at least two are supposed to be actually within this first tranche of hostages. One of them is Keith Siegel. I actually met with his wife a few weeks ago in Washington, and I thanked her for speaking with us. And she said, I'm not speaking, I'm screaming. They're from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I think that those kind of American names will drive some of Trump's enthusiasm and his commitment to seeing this through the second and third phase. And there's at least one or several Americans who will be released, who are being held actually until those further phases. So I think he's going to be committed. That's, 90% of what you need. And National Security Advisor Waltz, incoming National Security Advisor, he talked about, there's different ways we can do this. And if it comes to a bullet in the head of Hamas leaders, he's ready to kind of put the gun on the table. And I believe he would use it.
All right.